Hello, Graduated Without a Plan podcast. I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me. It's been like a month, guys. Okay. If you actually care that I forgot to make this podcast for a month, thank you. Thank you for actually caring. But let me explain. Oh my gosh, I almost chewed on my gum. Did you see that? My gum almost went flying to the back of my throat. Okay, let me explain. This summer has been so crazy for me. Let's buckle in, y'all. Let's buckle in because I'm about to dive right in. So, a couple of things. For starters, this has been the most successful year in terms of my music career to date. Which, what I love the most about this podcast is when I first made it back in January or whatever month I made it, about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, whatever, you guys witnessed, or maybe you didn't even witness because I felt like I was pretty good at keeping myself, like I was honest, but I was also not really I hadn't divulged really how deeply distraught and depressed I was because I was trying to maintain kind of that positive attitude. But I had literally been going to my friend's house to talk to his mom, right? To go and cry because I was like, I'm lost. I feel like Guys, my brain is working at so many miles per hour right now. The point is, 6 months ago, I was in a really bad place. I made this podcast because when I graduated, I was super down, right? I just had no direction. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I knew that I wanted to keep singing, but I didn't really see how it was gonna be profitable going forward, right? Can I get the lighting good? Because when I make little Instagram, TikTok reels on this, I don't want to have the sketchy light. Should I just sit here? Maybe I'll just sit further out. Okay, I'll sit here. So the point is, when I made this podcast originally, it was really me just kind of manifesting, hoping that things were going to work out. And I knew that this summer was going to be make or break, right? It was either, because summer for singers is the busy season. Spring, summer, fall, right? Winter slows down naturally, usually in like January, February, March. But this is our busy season. And if you're not busy during this season, you're going to have a problem, right? Because this is your squirrel away time. This is when you get your money and you squirrel it away. And so I was really nervous because in my brain, I said, well, it's either this summer does well or I find something else. And that was really just as simple as it got for me. And my God, this summer has been so good. It has just been so good, guys. Like, apart from the fact that I'm booked a lot, I'm booked at places that are really good. People have been treating me well. They've been paying me well. I mean, granted, there's been, some bumps in the road here and there that we won't mention for legal reasons. But overall, it's just been really, really good. And obviously, now that I'm a little older, I also have a little more experience under my belt. I kind of have my style established better. I think, personally, I'm the best. I've been, I've made improvements overall in my performance, in my set list, in my guitar playing, and even my singing, So I feel like I'm at the best I've ever been, and it's showing, And so I look back at, God, even the thoughts I had 6 months ago, and I'm just like, wow, things have worked out so beautifully. I never would have thought 6 months ago that I would be saying this, that I really feel good. I feel happy with where I'm at in my business. I feel confident and kind of I'm just saying, it's been a good summer. It's been really good. And on top of that, when you're playing at places and stuff, you have a lot of fun, right? Like, I've been enjoying the perks of singing at new places, and then through that, like, trying new food, trying new wine. My friends are showing up and we're having a good time. We're hanging out after the shows. But with this being said, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because I'm happy because I'm singing almost every single freaking day of the week. But on top of that, then other things like a podcast or hanging out with family and hanging out with friends who can't make it to shows, like, that has gone out the window. I swear I haven't seen really anybody, unless a friend comes to my show and then we hang out after, or we hang out there. I have not seen anybody. And I get it because a lot of people have their own jobs and stuff, so they're kind of busy too. But that's the one thing I will say. I wish and I hope that I'm able to balance better and just kind of make time for more friends and things. I don't know. But that's where I'm at in terms of the career, guys. I'm really happy. oh my God, guys, I forgot I hit 10K on TikTok. This was a couple of weeks. This was So this was like 4 weeks ago. I hit 10K on TikTok, which was another huge milestone for me. I cried on live stream. I'll cry now, but I won't do it. And since then, now, a couple weeks later, I have almost 12,000, which is crazy because just so many things lined up so well for me. Like, I mean, I say lined up, right? I mean, I've been putting in so much work, and this was the first year, really, because I graduated a year ago. This was the first year that I really put 100% into the music, because I was like, I'm not pursuing anything else, right? I'm not in college. I'm not taking classes part-time. I'm not working on the side. This is my full-time job. And so I was, been posting really consistently, been gigging consistently, been live streaming consistently, been just trying every avenue, and it's paid off. It's been paying off, and I fingers crossed it continues. It seems like it is. It seems like I'm on a good wave, and like I've always said, growth like that is exponential, because once you kind of get it flowing, it goes. Like, so this past month, I think I mentioned on my last podcast, I had the viral video about the Cody Simpson thing. And then I had a viral car video like a week after that. And then a week after that, I had a viral video about Youngblood that he reposted, which was crazy. He reposted. And so with that, like, I got a ton of traction to my account to begin with. And I got followers from that. But I think just the traction alone helps. Because then all of a sudden there was like over 100 people on my lives consistently. And, just like consistent followers, consistent engagement. So I don't know what I'm doing right. I think it's just consistency. All the time people I've always like struggled to figure out the algorithm, or you watch stuff on YouTube about other people trying to figure out the quote algorithm and what works. And I think it's just the more you do, the more likely you are to succeed, right? If you post a video a day, 365 videos per year, like one of them is bound to do well, right? So it's whatever. So guys, it's something I've done, like, when I hit 10K, it was one of those things that I really took a moment for, like, gratitude, right? And I've been having an existential crisis, but we'll get back to that. But it's like every time I question God and stuff, and then things like that happen, and you're just like, he just has provided so much in my life, and I just see the plan coming together kind of in ways I could envision, or ways I hope for, but in a timing that I know wasn't mine. And I'm just so grateful. Like, the people on that freaking app who support me, you guys know who you are, who are like my friends. You guys are really like my friends now, and support me actually much more than a lot of my in real life friends and a lot of my family. And that was a moment my brain is just overwhelmed. It's like something you're so grateful for, and I really just envision it only going up from here, and I'm not going to stop. So I hope you guys stay along this journey with me, because I'm just going to keep going until we get to, I'm not sure where yet, but I kind of have an idea, and I'm not going to stop until I get there. So I hope you guys are along for that journey, and I'm really confident that a lot of you will be, because we're like family up in that. But anyway, I'm not gonna cry, because this is like whatever. I wanted to get to some funny stuff. So much funny stuff is. Oh, speaking of the viral videos, this was so crazy. I'm gonna cry. Okay. So as you guys know, okay. So as you guys know, in May I had posted a video about my my experience. What was it? My experience winning a contest to meet Cody Simpson that didn't actually come to fruition, right? So, I can't believe I'm saying this. So, since then, about, a month or two had passed, and I kind of lost faith. I was like, I guess he's not going to see it. That video has, like, over 750,000 views. And I was like, what the frick? My 16-year-old, 14-year-old self would never believe this, but I kind of lost faith that he was going to see it. And then he commented on the video like a week ago, guys, and he was like, oh, we gotta make this right. So I actually almost didn't react when it happened. I was like, oh my God, he actually saw it, right? Like, whoa, what the frick? And then he went to another one of my videos like a couple days later that I was also talking about him, and commented like the eyes like, oh. And then I cried. Because it was like another moment where I was like, how is this real? Youngblood reposted my video. Cody Simpson commented on two of my videos. Oh my God. Like, that's my younger self. Like, all the times, all the things that little Emy went through, and there was a lot, right? There was a lot. And she would lose her mind if she knew that Cody Simpson, like, even saw her face. She would lose her mind if she knew that 10,000 people supported her music. She would lose her mind if she knew that, you know, she was making a full-time living singing right now. Like, she would just lose her fucking mind. And I'm just so happy for her, you know? And I'm just so happy for her. And I have to give myself credit that, you know, there was a lot of times that not that I didn't think I would make it, but that I think I was met with a lot of doubts from other people, right? Whether or not they even said it to me, whether it was implied, right? People, just simple things like saying, yeah, I sing, and people say, oh, you make money doing that? Like, what else do you do? Oh, you must do other stuff, right? Like, you can't, or, oh, you can only do that for so long, right? Like, you're gonna stop once you graduate or whatever. Or the stuff with the health benefits, or the stuff with the, what about a pension? What about that, right? Like, and I started living by the motto, don't let your big girl worries get in the way of your little girl dreams. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, does any of that really matter? Like, sure, we all want health benefits and stuff, and we have to plan for the future, but we really only have right now. And why not give everything you have to that? Like, why not let little Emy be happy? Like, why? She suffered so much. Like, let her have her moment. And she's having her moment. And I'm just so happy for her. I didn't know I was gonna cry. I thought this was gonna be funny. I could've. So, thank you for everybody who reposted that video about me and Cody Simpson and who tagged him. And I hope it really happens. Like, he commented that he actually really wants to meet me. So I really hope it happens. And if it does, I will definitely keep you guys updated and have that recorded from every angle, every situation. So that's so exciting. But, oh my gosh. You guys logged onto this podcast for a good time, and all you've heard me do is cry for 12 minutes. Okay, so moving along, I can't believe I might meet him. Oh my god. Oh, you know? Oh my god. Okay, I can't even believe. Okay, so what else was I going to talk about? Anyway, I think I went through a second puberty. Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed, I feel like I look completely different than I did a month ago. This is really weird. So I've heard about this before, people saying you have a second puberty. I remember my grandpa saying to me, like, I was joking, I was like, Grandpa, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my prime, this is the prettiest I'm ever gonna be, like, what am I gonna do? Like, it's all downhill from here. And he had said to me, no, I think girls and guys, he's like, I think are the best looking in their 30s. And I remember actually a friend's mom had said that to me too. She had said, you know, when you're younger, you're very puffy. And she's like, you don't understand now, but when you're older, you'll understand that in your 30s, you're just less puffy. Like, you just look better. And I was like, okay. And then now that I'm a little older, I know exactly what she's saying, and I see it. Like, you lose that baby face look. And so I thought I had gone through that because I had my phase when I was like, you know, I guess middle school through high school, where I went through my rough phase. I was really cute. Okay, wait. I think in my personal opinion, I was really cute up until about 4th grade. And then something happened to me, like 5th grade, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, like, I was pretty much a mess. And when I say a mess, it was like, I had my braces, I had my bad haircut, I had, you know, I was a little pudgy, I just, like, nothing really, like, my weight fluctuated like crazy, I put on a lot of weight, like, I was never, like, obese, but I definitely was heavy, in my opinion. I mean, I also had crippling body dysmorphia, so I was very confused as to what was healthy and what wasn't. So so there was a lot, right? But when I turned 18 or like 17 and a half, because I remember I had my first boyfriend at 17, and he actually, I give him credit that he kind of woke me up. Like, he was like, you're pretty. And I was like, oh, because he used to think I was like the prettiest girl ever. And then when I turned 18, I just remember feeling very differently about myself, because all of a sudden I was getting a lot of attention from guys. I was getting asked out, and I really never had before. Like, I used to ask people out, because I really have no social anxiety. So I used to say, like, to guys that like, oh, I like you, you're cute. And they'd be like, they just didn't like me until I was 18. And then all of a sudden, those same people who, quote, rejected me came back around and were like, hey, like, on Snapchat or whatever, right? So that was what I considered my, like, new Emy, right? And then I saw over time, even then, I was still kind of puffy, but I didn't feel it. I felt really pretty at 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, kind of, I got gradually better. My prime was probably 20. Yeah, my prime was 20. And when I say prime, out of those years, the best I looked was 20. Because it was also, like, during COVID, I had lost a lot of weight. I don't really know why. I just lost a lot of weight. But I was really healthy, because I was, like, a strict vegan. I was not at the gym. Okay, so this is actually what happened. This is actually really interesting. So the year before COVID, at 19, I was dating a bodybuilder. I don't know if I've ever talked about any of this, but it's really interesting to me. I was dating a bodybuilder, and so I had lifted all year long and, like, really prioritized protein, was a strict vegan, and so I put on a ton of muscle. And then during COVID, you could no longer go to the gym, so all I was doing was running. I was running, like, every single day, and you couldn't go out to eat. So I kind of went on an accidental cut, you know? And so any of that, like, additional, like, bulk or fat or whatever, water weight, just, like, evaporated, and I was the leanest I'd ever been. So I looked, in my opinion, the best then, right? So, and then, you know, COVID ended, I turned 21, I went to the bars, I drank a lot, I put on a little weight again. Like, it was just kind of this cycle, right? So this past year, I felt, like, just kind of stagnant. I felt like, I'm okay with how I look. I think I would always love to be skinnier, because all the girls, they want to be skinnier. And at the end of the day, body dysmorphia doesn't, you know, having an eating disorder doesn't go away. You just manage it. And so, this year, I just was like, whatever, I guess I just am how I am. However, this month, and when I say month, literally the past 4 weeks since I've seen you guys, I felt this significant shift in my body. I lost weight, right? I lost like 6 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for me it is, because I stay within kind of a range, right? And I just, like, lost five pounds in, like, a week or two, which was like, okay, that's random. I felt like my face looked thinner. I felt like, and not from the weight loss, like, because 5 pounds isn't enough to really see a significant difference in like that. Like, I felt like my face shape changed. My hair is a lot longer all of a sudden, which it's been growing, but, you know, you see, like, look at the videos of me when I first made this podcast. Look how long my hair is. Look at my bangs are completely grown out. When I started this podcast, I didn't have bangs. I cut them, like, the second or third week, and now look where they are now. All the way down here. Like, I just feel like I look so different. And one of my friends had mentioned to me, actually, she's like, oh, it sounds like you're going through your second puberty. And I was like, I think that that's true. Because all of a sudden, I feel like my body completely changed physically. But also just things like, I'm not physically as hungry as I was. I usually have a huge appetite. I could eat, snack all day long. All of a sudden, like, I'm just not that hungry. You know? I usually feel this extreme loneliness, right? Like, this hankering of, oh, I just want more friends, or, oh, I just, you know, I don't know, like, I want to have this whatever, and I just don't really feel that. I feel kind of content. I'm usually crazy about my career, saying, I wish I was making this amount, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, I wish I moved out, I wish, like, that. I think that that natural, you know how they say humans are built with the same natural mechanism as baby birds, that eventually they just feel inclined to jump out of the nest, right? They're like, oh, I guess I gotta go. Like, it's time. The same way humans do, you know, around 18, they're like, oh, gotta go, gotta move out, gotta be independent. And I felt like I had that so strong for several years, and all of a sudden that just stopped. All of a sudden that need to run, maybe that's what it is, that need for flight, that need to run, dissipated. I don't feel like I need to move to California right now. I don't feel like I need to move to Nashville. I don't think I need to move out of my parents' house. I don't feel like I need to find the new new friend group. I don't feel like I need to find a new boyfriend. Like, you know, all those feelings that were very all over the place have just settled down. And in the same way, my anxiety hiked up significantly. My existential anxiety a little bit, I think, because for me at least, when things get too good, I'm a little like, let me find something, you know? But yeah, I think this has just been an era of feeling very settled is the word. It's just settled, content with independence, content with the people I have in my life. I mean, do I long for maybe a little deeper connections? Yeah. Do I feel like some of my friends I'm friends with, but I don't really know super well? Yeah. But I think that just comes with time. And I just don't feel that rush anymore. That I need that, so whatever. So that's that. So it's been really interesting. Yeah, it's been really interesting. And I have this immense gratitude for my friends who have showed up to gigs. For the family that shows up to gigs. And when I say show up to gigs, I mean, obviously people are busy, they have stuff to do too, but just stuff like, you know, liking my pictures. Like, they see me posting stuff, trying to, you know, promote my music, and like the friends that repost. Cost them $0 to like, $0 to repost, right? $0 to give that YouTube video a view, and the people who do it, you know, I know who's who. I'm not stupid. Like, I know what family members are clicking the links and which ones aren't, and which friends are and which aren't, and I think that just shows a lot about who's really in your corner and who is kind of just like a passive friend. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's a side rant. Speaking of friendship, this is funny. This is really funny. This is another moment that I felt was divine. I'm so emo. I'm so emo, guys. Because there's so much gratitude in my heart. It's so weird. And it's ironic, this is a time in my life where I've questioned God the most. So I'll get to both of these. So we'll start with the God thing. The first thing is that I think that, let's go full circle. My anxiety has always revolved around control. Anxiety of not having control. I think when it comes to life and the world, the one thing you don't have control over is everything, right? And I think sometimes because my life has been going good, I've almost been mourning myself. Like, I've been mourning my life and the fact that, you know, it doesn't last forever, and that the people around you don't last forever, and it's a very scary thought. It's a very isolating thought. You feel out of control completely, and you feel like there's nothing you can do, because there's really not, you know, but it made me really have this tense feelings about God, and being like, you know, this year has been the most, I'm like losing words. I usually have big words in my head, but it's been such a year of growth of me and my spiritual journey, and a change of really what my spiritual journey was. And I felt so close to God, and I see his plan so clearly in so many avenues in my life, but then still at like 1 a.m. I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, what if it's all a lie? what the fuck am I doing with this floating rock, right? So I think the only thing you can do, really, is, or at least for me, is to keep my eyes on where I see God. And that's what I've been praying for. I haven't been praying for anything other than, God, help me see you today in everything that you do. And that's as simple as you look outside and you see the freaking, like, right now I'm looking out my window and I'm like, this is, like, it's like I couldn't picture anything. Like, how could it be so beautiful? And it's like there's, like, it's bringing a tear to my eye. Like, who made that, bro? You know? And I know, and in my heart I know that God made that, but I'm just like, who is he? What is he? Is he a spirit? Is he a being? Is he an energy? Like, what the frick? Whatever. But anyways, this was another God moment, so why am I crying? Oh my god. I can't believe I'm gonna put this on the internet. Okay, so the other day, so let me give some background. This is so funny. So, as a singer on Long Island, I'm trying to get my name out there, right? And so I've been seeing, you know, and I know other people's names too. You see some people who we sing at a lot of the same places, you know, those places that have live music all the time. And there's, like, usually rotations. And there's this one guy in particular that I've heard his name and I've seen his name several times. His name is Jay. All right, his name's Jay Shepherd. I'll say his name because he's a public figure. It's not like I'm, like, outing him or anything. And he is a funny guy. Like, so I saw his name, like, 1,000 times, so I Google it. I'm like, let's see who this guy, Jay is. And he's so funny. He's got, like, hair down to here, dyed blonde, got, like, this fedora thing with a feather, like, a real rock star kind of looking guy. And so when I saw him, I was like, who is this motherfucker? Right? Like, you don't see that around here. Who is that? Because most of the singers, like, I don't know, they're just, like, you're at a winery, usually, like, it's a girl in a cute dress, or, like, a guy in, like, a flannel, and then you see, like, Jay Shepherd with this freaking, like, rock star, like, t-shirt, like, not t-shirt, like, button down to here, like, I'm like, who is he, you know? So I always thought he was really interesting. I'm like, I hope I run into him one day. But a lot of times because we're all singing, like, usually it's, like, 6 to 9 Saturday, or 7 to 10, or whatever, so it's very rare that you can actually go see somebody else if you're singing as well. So I was at my gig. It was a Thursday night, and my friend Nick had come, and my friend Mariah. And so some of you guys know Nick. He's just such a funny character. He does acting, and he's a very social person. And what I really love about him is that he's so down to do whatever. You know, like, not every friend. Like, I feel like I could call him any hour of the day and be like, hey, do you want to go wherever? And he'll be like, yeah, I'm an hour away. I'll be there in an hour. You know. So, he's really spontaneous like that. And Mariah, she's just a long-term friend who's just, she's really funny too. I just really like her. I don't know why, I just like her a lot. So, anyway, what's it called? Oh, so, after my gig, Nick convinces us both to go out. Me and Mariah are like, no, but we go out. Long story short, we're in the bar, and Jay fucking Shepherd walks in. So I'm like, oh my god! So I recognize him immediately. He doesn't know me, obviously. So I'm looking at him from across the bar, like, you know. I think that I think he got the vibe that I was giving him eyes, like, because I'm, like, staring at him. So he probably thought I was, like, trying to, like, hit on him or whatever. So eventually he kind of walks over to, like, right next to us. So I'm like, all right, here's my opportunity. I lean over. I'm like, are you Jay? So the guy's like, yeah, like, how did you know? And I said, I know you from singing. And he was like, oh my god, right, because here I am, basically, as a fan, like, truly as a fan. And I'm, like, recognizing him, like, as a groupie, like, fan encounter. So we started this conversation. Turns out he's, like, this southern guy from South Carolina or something. And all of a sudden, his look made so much sense because it fit his personality so well. Like, he's just a super chill, super, like, rock star guy. Like, Jay is truly a rock star. That's what he is. So, another, like, long story short, I end up at his house. Okay. Keep in mind, we had talked for a while before this, right? It was, like, about 45 minutes we were chatting. We were talking all about similar places we sing, who we like, who we don't, like, whatever. But he's super, like, gentleman about it. I'm like, I should be more like this, because he's like, yeah, I won't say anything about anybody because it's a small island. I'm like, damn, tell me the tea. Like, talk shit. I'm here for it, you know? But he was, like, real nice about it. But also I felt, like, a little more comfortable with him, obviously, because I know people who know him and all that stuff, and we sing in the same places, so I'm like, he's not gonna murder me, right? And also Nick came to the house. So we go to this guy's house. He says, I have a music studio in my basement. So I'm expecting to pull up to this guy's house and there'd be like a laptop with a Scarlett plugin in a closet and then be like, I'm a mixer and master, right? Like, so I was just going for a good time, really. This guy, first of all, his house, beautiful. It's styled exactly like him. If you ever find a picture of Jay Shepherd, the house looks like him, if that makes sense. The studio, he has a full basement. It's like he has a ranch, and the studio and the basement is the size of his is the size of the house just downstairs. So double the size of the house. Literally, this expansive, gorgeous, state-of-the-art studio like I've never seen at someone's home before. He was showing us like tours of the equipment. He had a piano from like 18 something, like 100 year, maybe I'm wrong, but it was like over 100-year-old piano. Every type of like high-end guitar and microphone and like just everything was so, I was like, what the fuck? So anyway, he's like, let's record a song. So keep in mind, this is where God comes in, right? This is, if this bang doesn't get the fuck out of my face, I've been fiddling with it. I'm just going to go like this or something because it's going to look stupid. So this is where God comes in, because if you guys been following my thoughts at all, I've been trying to record an album for over a year. Some of my songs I'm working on with this guy named Ollie Hayes, who I love too. Like, I would go to battle for Ollie Hayes. He is just the sweetest little British man. And he helped me with 2 of my songs. He helped me with California, I Didn't Care You Went to California, and Sick Child, and I loved how he did the both of them. But it's like a hard process because I send him like the demo, then he sends me back it edited, then I'll send back, and then I need to re-record this, I'll send it back, and then he'll send back this and this and that. So it's like us sending stuff back and forth, and half the time, I don't even have time to record, and then like, it would just seem so much easier if we're in a room together, so it takes forever with us. But at the end of the day, I love the product, so I think and I just love him. So that's like way one I've been doing the songs. But I also wanted to do some just in-studio songs to avoid that. Like, I'll do like a couple of songs with Ollie, I'll do a couple of songs in real life, and also just to get like a different sound. Like, I'm just, I wanted for some of my songs to have like a real bluegrass feel, and so I wanted to get like real bluegrass players like in the studio with me, which you can only do in person really. So anyway, I've been looking for the right recording studio for a long time, and I'm not going to call out anybody because everyone's just trying to do their business, and everyone I've met and talked to about it was really nice and really, I would have loved to work with, but a lot of it was just as simple as it was just like super out of my price range, right? Like, some people, they do like songs for $1,000 a song or like $700 a song. And I'm like, I want to record 10 songs. Like, I can't do 700. Even if you give me like the $700 discount, I can't do. What am I going to spend $10,000 on an album? Like, it's just, like, not really in the cards right now. I just don't feel, like, comfortable doing that right now. Or then it's, working in a studio, but I don't really like doing by the hour. I'd rather do per song, because by the hour then I feel, like, rushed, and I feel, if I don't really know the person well, I don't know how we're going to work, and here I'm going to sign this contract that we're going to work together, but what if we're not flowing and it ends up taking, $500 worth of hours? Like, so it just wasn't lining up, and I wasn't finding who I wanted to, like, work with, And so I literally prayed, God, like, you guys think I'm joking. I think I'm fucking joking. I literally prayed on the way to the gym, and I'm always praying on the way to the gym, and it comes to fruition. I'll give you another example in a second, but I was praying on the way to the gym. I was like, listen, God, like, because there was another incident where I had been in contact with somebody else, and we were supposed to record, and then he just basically ghosted. So I was praying about it. I said, God, like, if this one doesn't work out again, this person, like, I'm just gonna pray on it, and you send the right person my way, and I'll be patient. Like, if it's not meant to happen right now, it won't. And then literally the next day, I'm in the bar, and fucking Jay Shepherd walks in and is like, let's record at my house. Like, okay. And it came out what I consider really well. Like, and granted, we only did the vocals. So we did, like, the vocals, the harmony. We did, like, a basic guitar track in the background, but we didn't add, like, any significant instrumentals or solo or nothing. And I'm like, this is a beautiful foundation. And he seems like super down to work, so I think it's something that we could get done quickly, you know? So it was just something that fell into my lap, and I was like, man, every time I question God, and then he just does shit like this. You know, the same way, another example of when I was driving to the gym, I was thinking about my neighbors, because I never talked about them. But when I was younger, I had these neighbors, they lived right next door. I'm looking at their house out the window right now, and there were 6 of them. And there was 3 boys, 3 girls, and the boys were like our age, and the girls were a little younger, and there was one older. And they were like our best friends, and I give them so much credit for raising me, like for making me who I am, because I had such a good childhood, like, because I had my grandparents, and then I had them, and that was my family, you know? And I think, like, I give a lot of credit, like, you know, I was a little tomboy, or I really liked sports, and I thrived in sports, and I still do, and I really had good grades, but because they really we pushed each other because they were very smart, and I give a lot of that credit to them, and being, like, I used to call them, like, my brothers, you know. So what had happened was, eventually, you know, they actually moved away, and they all got married very young. The 3 boys, they got married like 22, 23, 24, that age. They all have kids now. They're my age. They're like 20, max 25, 27, or that's the range, I think. And they all have kids and are married. And that was an interesting thing too, because that got me really twisted. I'll get back to that, but the point is, I hadn't seen them in like 10 years. And I really missed them, and I wondered, you know, do they think about us? You know, I was like, I wonder if they think about us, because I think about them all the time. You know, I look next door and I think about them all the time. And I'm like, and I know they're married and they have stuff going on, so I just wonder if I ever crossed their mind. And I drove to the gym, I went to the gym, and I swear to God, I came home, and who was in my backyard but one of the boys with his wife and his 3 daughters. And his name's Tommy. And I was like, what are you doing here? Right? Like, keep in mind, they live in Maryland, and this was they come up once a year, and I didn't even know that. And they just happened to be in my backyard. And I was like, oh, I guess they are thinking of me. And I guess, once again, God wanted to tell me that. So I was just like, this is crazy. But that was a really interesting thing, too, because when he came back, he had mentioned that the other brother had gotten married, which I didn't know. I knew, there's 3 brothers. I knew one of the brothers had got married. I didn't know the other one had. And that one brother in particular, I had a huge crush on when I was young. And, and when I say young, up until I was about 17. And my whole life. My whole life. And I always thought, like, what happened was, half my songs were written about him. I was just so inspired by him all the time, in a lot of ways. And I guess what happened was, he ended up going away to college, and that's kind of how we lost contact. Or, not going away to college, he started going to college. And then he went away to college. I don't know, somehow he left the state. And I guess I always told myself, one day he's going to come back from college, and I'll tell him how I feel about him. P.S. He never came back, and now he's married with a child, right? So it was a weird pill to swallow, because I realized that that door had closed. I've gone down a lot of different avenues, but are you guys following? I hope so. I just realized that door had closed, and then it made me reflect on a lot of aspects of my life where those doors closed. Like, how weird is it, the concept that we date people, and at this point in my life, like, now that I'm 25, the people I dated at 18 could very well be married. could very well have a child. They could very well be married with a child. That's unsettling to me. I don't love that. Granted, 99% of these people I would never revisit. But that 1%, no, not even revisit. That's not even the word. But like, I think about, I've been doing a lot of reflecting on my younger self and thinking all those people that she liked that she never said anything to because she was too shy. And it's like, well, now that's done. Like, now that's never happening. You're never going to get that opportunity again. Or things like, I wanted to maybe go away to college and then I didn't. Or like, say, well, we talked about this, but say I wanted to play a sport in college. Now I've officially, like, aged out. I can't go back to college and play a sport anymore. Like, that ship has sailed. I'll never be a teen mom. Right? Like, just little things. Some that you wish happened, some that you're happy didn't, but you just realize that you're entering a new phase. Like, that, those ships have sailed. And I guess it makes me now, going forward, think of things like, if there's a moment where you want to act on something, you want to do something, like you want to take that 6 weeks and go to Tennessee with your girls. You want to drive to California on a road trip. You want to tell someone how you feel about them. You want to reconnect with that friend who you haven't talked to in 5 years. Like, it's kind of now or never. Like, just do it. Why? What are you really waiting for? Are you waiting for till you're 35 and you're married with kids, or you're married till, or not married, or you're waiting until you haven't seen your friend in a year? You're gonna wait till it's 5 years? You're gonna wait to do that road trip until you have kids and you really don't have time? Like, this has been a very cerebral time in my life. Have you guys noticed? Have you guys noticed? Whatever. I'm supposed to go to my aunt's house to have dinner, and I'm excited for that. Even though I just got home from my gig, I fucking binged. I haven't done that in a while, but like, I got home, I was so hungry that it was like one of those things. I was eating like peanut butter and crackers while the pasta water was boiling, and then once I finished the pasta water and the pasta was boiling, then I had a cookie, and then I ate the spaghetti, and then I was like, you know what? I need dessert. Even though I had already had cookies and peanut butter and crackers. Like, what am I doing? But I could always eat, so I'm going to go back and eat. But I don't think I really emphasize how much I love Jay Shepherd. I don't think I... And how much I love Nick for coming with me to that crazy adventure. That was so... It was just such a... Whatever. That's something I'll remember for a while. I feel like I had more to tell you, but I can't remember. Whatever. Hopefully I'll make a podcast next week. No, I won't wait a month from now, so maybe I'll give you the true update. But, yeah, everybody, it's been a time of gratitude. Next time I'll be funnier. Sorry. I just wanted to give you the update since I haven't seen you in weeks. Okay. I'm going to the Delaware Water Gap this weekend. I'll definitely have things to say about that. Oh. Sorry, I've been crying. This was my worst episode, but... Okay, but love you guys. Thank you so much. And you know who you are. If you're contributing to making this dream come true, you know exactly who you are. And you're the reason I'm crying. So. Okay. Bye, guys.